What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pablo's Toy Box Photography for another action figure review. And today we're going to be taking a close look at NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Mighty Metalhead Deluxe figure. Now this figure is a nightmare to look for, man. With the scalpers and their scalper bots flooding Target, taking over all these figures and marking them up super high on the secondhand market, it's just ridiculous. And I was so fortunate that I'm a part of the NECA Toy Collectors group on Facebook. A homie hit me up by the name of Kenny Ferdinand Mira Bueno. He said that he had an extra one and he wasn't looking into profiting on the figure. He wanted to help fellow toy collectors, which was awesome. Replied back to him, was like, yes, I'm very interested. And he hit me up. He told me what he wanted for it, which was not high at all. It was only like $15 above the MSRP on this figure, which is fantastic. And what made it even better was that he lives here within the same Houston area as I do. I was able to meet him in person. Dude is super cool, man. Kenny, if you get to watch this, thank you so much, bro. I cannot thank you enough. I am super happy that I got this figure. I was so happy on the way home the other day when I was getting ready to get this figure out. I was doing my little happy dance and my daughter was just laughing at me. But as soon as she saw what I had, she also started doing, she got super excited because she knows who Metalhead is, because she loves watching these cartoons. But again, thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it, man. This was awesome. And Kenny does have an Instagram account. It's called Summit State of Mind, which is a Houston Rockets sports podcast. If you guys are basketball fans, and especially if you guys are Houston Rocket fans, I suggest you go hit up his Instagram account. I'll go ahead and leave his Instagram account in my description below. But enough about that. Let's take a close look at this figure, because I am so excited to have this figure, man. It is such an awesome figure. The box is amazing. NECA killed it on this packaging. I don't keep many packaging for any of my figures. I rarely do. The only ones I do keep are what I consider my premium figures, which are like my Egg Attacks, Storm Collectibles, and Mezco. But this might be one of my first NECA boxes that I keep, because NECA just killed it with this packaging. They just made it look like the old VHS tapes, which is cool. I love how they stylized their NECA logo in the Family Home Entertainment logo. I like that they have the Nickelodeon logo on the bottom left. You get to see the nice Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on top. You get a nice illustration of Metalhead in the middle. You get Donnie on the left hand side, and you get Mikey on the right hand side. Now with NECA's deluxe figures, all their deluxe figures, they have an open flap with a little Velcro strap, and you open it up and you get a nice view of the figure with all the accessories inside, which is pretty cool. I love the way they did this packaging. And on the inside flap, of course, you get a nice promotional shot of Metalhead. On the side of the box, you do get the NECA logo, again stylized in the Family Home Entertainment style. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Mighty Metalhead, Volume 1. Now this is called Volume 1 because this is the first deluxe figure in the Ninja Turtle cartoon line. They do plan on making some other ones. There is an Alpha Foot Soldier coming out soon. And I believe the Krang Bot is going to be a deluxe figure as well, which will have a similar packaging. It's going to look like the VHS tape, which is pretty awesome. And I do plan on keeping all these boxes. On the back, you get a nice shot, or some promotional shots in the back. And this is set up similar to how the VHS tapes had the still images in the back of the cartoon of the episodes that are in that volume, which is pretty cool. You get a nice little bio of Metalhead on the top right. You get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo, and you do have the Nickelodeon logo on the bottom. On this side of the box is the same as the other side. It's got the same NECA logo stylized in the Family Home Entertainment style. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Mighty Metalhead, and Volume 1. On the top of the box, you do have a nice Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo, the Nickelodeon logo on the top left, and of course ages 14 and up, and you do have the warning choking hazard. And on the bottom, they do have credit to everybody that was involved in designing and sculpting and painting this figure, which is awesome. You do get the NECA logo and some other logos on the bottom. A little warning hazard for not intended for kids under 3, or be careful with kids under 3 because there is small pieces and you don't want them to choke on. But that's pretty much it for the packaging. This packaging, like I said, is awesome, and I do intend to keep this box. But enough of that. Let's break this figure out of this box and take a closer look at him. Alright, well, here's Metalhead out of the package. Now, this figure is amazing. NECA packed in a lot of detail in this figure, and they did an amazing job. I am super stoked on what they did here. It almost looks like they literally pulled Metalhead out of the cartoon series and packaged them and sold it to us. This figure looks great. I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, it doesn't look like Metalhead, but these people are referring to that it doesn't look anything like the Playmates Metalhead action figure that they released. That Metalhead looked nothing like Metalhead in the cartoon. Actually, the majority of all their figures that they released based on this cartoon look nothing like the characters in that cartoon series. And NECA is killing it, because like I said, man, it looks like they just pulled them right off a still screenshot and then just put them in a package, and it's like, here you go. So yeah, this figure is awesome, and he's packed with a lot of detail. I love all the line work. It's got that cartoon cell shading on there. It is fantastic. He does have some nice articulation. He's a little limited, but not that much. I mean, his arms can go, you know, about that high up. They do rotate all the way around. He has a single jointed elbow, which isn't too bad. His head does have, actually his head has some very nice tilt. That's awesome. I love that. His head does rotate all the way around. His mouth is articulated, which is fantastic, man. You can get a lot of expressions out of that. His wrists are on hinges. All his interchangeable hands are on the same hinge. They go up and down. They do rotate. He does have a bicep swivel as well. And right below the elbow, there is a swivel there as well for the forearm on both sides, which is pretty cool. He does have a waist swivel that's hidden really well on behind this belt, which is pretty cool. That gives you like an extra range of posability. I mean, just a slight amount, just to give that a certain expression in your photos, which is fantastic. I really like that. His legs are double jointed on the knees, just they're super tight, about that far back. His legs can open quite a bit. It's pretty good. He can kick forward about that much, not too far up, but he is a mechanical turtle, which is expected from, you know, a robot. He can kick about that much, but with the extra range that you get with the knees, it's quite a bit. It's good enough to get some running and walking poses. He does have an upper thigh swivel as well. He does have a swivel right above the knee, and he does not have one below the knee. His feet do hinge back quite a bit and forward, and he has a little bit of ankle rocker. Oh, actually he has a decent amount of rock here there. That's pretty good. But yeah, and he does have this little switch, an on and off switch that is actually movable. It's pretty cool. I would be very careful with this switch. I've seen some other people say that that switch is broken off. I mean, it's a fairly thin piece of plastic, and Metalhead is pretty heavy, so if this figure falls back, yeah, more than likely that little piece of plastic is going to break, and so I would be super careful with that. But other than that, I mean, it's not a major. I don't have any major flaws with this. It's pretty good. I really love what they did here. Let's go ahead and take some closer look at some of the details. Oh, and before I move on, his chest does open up, because there is an accessory that comes with this that you get to plug in right there. It's his chest cannon. It's pretty cool. I like that they did this feature. It's pretty neat. But yeah, let's go ahead and start. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so we can take a closer look at Metalhead's details. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the head. As you can see, the head is really nicely sculpted. NECA did an amazing job with this head sculpt. It really looks like what I remember Metalhead looking like in the cartoon. I love that yellow, how it pops on top of the gray with the black outlines. I mean, using the black outlines on these cartoon-based characters really makes them pop, and it really looks like you're just playing with the actual cartoon character straight out of the cartoon. It's awesome. I really love that touch that they add, or I really love the touch that the black outlines add to the figures. I like the way that they used the green accent around where his ears would be. And even this little green piece right here is really nicely sculpted on there. The mouth is articulated. It opens up pretty wide. It's good range. And it's painted all in black inside. It's really good. Yeah, overall, there's a lot of detail. Even some of the lines you can see right here by his cheek area. That's all sculpted in there. They didn't skip out on any of the sculpt work on here. Now let's take a look at the chest. Try to focus. All this work is all sculpted on here. These panels do open. And this is where you'll be plugging in that chest cannon that he comes with. And as you can see, there's nice detail in there with those those gray touches of color in there. But I don't know if I can get this to show up in the camera. Probably. Well, there is some detail sculpted inside the paneling behind the doors. I can't get the light in there, can I? But yeah, there's some nice sculpt work inside there. Yeah, you can. There you go. Yeah, on both panels, it has similar sculpting work inside the paneling. Pretty nice, man. I mean, they didn't skip out on any details. Anywhere they can cram some in there, they put it in there, and it's pretty neat. I like that NECA did a good job with this figure. It just brings this figure, to that next level. The belt work is sculpted on there as well, and the grenades are sculpted on top of that belt. You can't remove the grenades. It would have been nice if they would have added some loose grenades, but I mean, that just would have added just more playability, I think, and more things you could do in photographs. But I mean, overall, that's nice. I mean, you can simply make some of those grenades. But yeah, that's pretty neat. And the little lines around it, that's sculpted on there and then painted in black or outlined in black. The back of the shell, this shell is really nicely done. It looks like a metal shell. It's got some nice hard, lines and edges. And here's the switch. Here's a closer look at the switch. Make sure I'm in focus. Yeah, like I said earlier, this switch is really, well, I don't want to say flimsy, but it could easily break. I would be extremely careful with this switch because it's such a thin piece of plastic. And if Metalhead were to, fall back, there's a really high chance of this little switch breaking, because I've seen a lot of people already posting that their switches have broken because the figure has fallen on its back, and it's just, yeah, I mean, it'll snap off really easily, and Metalhead is a heavy figure, so I'll be really careful with that switch. But yeah, all this work right here around the shell, these little textures, it's all sculpted on there and then outlined in black. You can see a little bit of black outline work inside, even in the shell. All these lines right here are sculpted in there. The elbow pads are nice soft plastic. It doesn't hinder the articulation. The hands, all that line work is sculpted on there. Those little lines you see on the fingers, it's all sculpted on there, and it's got some black details in it. It's outlined in black. Same goes for the wrist guards right here. These are sculpted. And those lines you see are sculpted on there too, and then outlined in black. Yeah, overall this is an awesome figure. Really like this figure a lot. NECA did a good job, man. Really happy that I own this figure now. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the accessories that he comes with. Yeah, so straight out of the box, he does come with a pair of open hands. He comes with a pair of gripping hands. And he also comes with a pair of fisted hands. Alright, let's take a closer look at the accessories. First one we're going to look at is the chest cannon. As you can see, he's got some nice sculpted detail in here. You can see the little barrels. All that line work you see is sculpted and outlined in black. Overall, it's really nice. It's got some nice detail in here. Nice sculpted work. You can see some little lines sculpted on this little, looks like a padding. And it has this little wire that's sticking out. It's loose, it's flexible. This plugs into the hole. There's a tiny hole in his chest. And then this is the peg that plugs into his chest. Yeah, overall this is really nice. The next accessory he comes with is this screw drill bit that attaches to his hand, or not his hand. You remove his hand and it plugs into his wrist guard. But this has really nice sculpted detail on here, and of course you can see the black outlines on there. It really brings out that detail. But this is a really nice piece too. It is a little sharp, so I would be careful not to put too much pressure on this end, because you might be able to break your skin, but you could also break that tip. That would be pretty bad if you end up doing that. That'll ruin this piece. But this is a really nice piece. It's got nice detail on it. And his last accessory is the vacuum. I like the colors he used in the vacuum bag. It looks similar to what it looked like in the cartoon. All this is sculpted right here. It tapers out from a smaller ring to a wider ring, and this is the end that plugs into the wrist guard. There's a little bit of articulation on this end, so this, you can stand it straight up or angle it. Yeah, overall it's really nicely detailed and simple, and it's got the black lines on there too, which really brings out some of that detail work, and it makes it look cartoonish. Okay, let me go ahead and attach these accessories onto the figure so you guys can take a look at what they look like on here. Let me refocus on Metalhead. Alright, now for his chest cannon, it's really simple. So I'm going to bring him a little closer. You just open up the flaps right here. You get your chest, your cannon. I would recommend putting the little red wire in first if you can. At least lining it up with a little hole. And then you plug in the peg on top, or you can do it the other way around. Doesn't really matter which one you put in first. And just line it up, and there you go. There's Metalhead with the chest cannon. Really simple to put on there. I would be careful on how much pressure you put on that little peg when you're inserting it, because there's a chance you can break it. And I would hate for someone to break the peg inside there, inside the peg hole, because oh man, that would be such a pain to get out and to try to repair it. But yep, that's Metalhead with this chest cannon. Get this out. Close up his chest. Now let me go ahead and take off this hand. You see, you just remove the hand, and you're left with the wrist guard. And this is where this accessory plugs into. There you go. That's a metal head with the screw drill bit piece. And these you can put them on any hand. It doesn't necessarily need to go on this arm. You can put it on either one. And same goes for the vacuum. Pop that. Oops, sorry. You can pop that hand right off, and then you just plug in the vacuum piece. Back them up a little bit. Focus a little bit. Yep, and there you go. That's Metalhead with his accessories. Overall, these accessories are pretty cool. I really like what they did here. It's a fun piece. It's a really fun figure to play around and photograph. This is how Metalhead scales up next to Shredder and Krang. This is how Metalhead scales up next to the Turtles. As you can see, Metalhead is quite a big figure compared to the Turtles, and he was pretty big in the cartoon. Metalhead did tower over the Turtles, and NECA did a pretty good job in scaling him with their Ninja Turtle cartoon line. This is how Metalhead scales up next to Casey Jones and the Slashed Foot Soldier. And this is how he scales next to Turtles in Time arcade figures, Leatherhead and Slash. So yeah, overall, this figure is awesome. I really love this figure, and like I said earlier at the beginning, I'm super stoked that I have him. I'm really happy with this figure. I really love what NECA did in giving us Metalhead from the cartoon series. I mean, he is a pretty much carbon copy from that, like as if they pulled him out of the cartoon, which is awesome. This is the figure that I wanted back in the day, and we never got him from Playmates, and I'm glad NECA is doing it true for all the Turtle fans who wanted actual toys from what we saw in the cartoon. And yeah, this is such an awesome figure. I really do hope that NECA later on down the line reuses this Metalhead for the Turtles in Time figure series, because he did come out in that game. I would love to see Metalhead in that arcade deco style with the pixelated pattern, and I hope if they do reuse him, I hope they give us different accessories, because in the game, whenever he jabbed at you, he would use both his hands, and his hands would extend out. I'm pretty sure NECA can do that. Give us like little long tubes to showcase that he's extending his fists out to jab at you. And he also did, when he did his kick, his foot would also extend out to kick you. To have those accessories in an arcade, Turtles in Time arcade version of this would be awesome. And I do hope that NECA does that, because the price point for this deluxe figure is the same price point as the NECA Ninja Turtles in Time figures, pretty much. So I'm pretty sure they can do it, and I hope they do reuse them and just give us that paint deco with different accessories, and that would really be awesome. And if they do that, it won't just be a Target exclusive, because as we all know, the Turtles in Time figures can be found on any specialty online stores and comic book shops, which would make it a lot easier to get that Metalhead. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And if you all like the review, let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe. And again, I want to give a shout out to Kenny again. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. So that pretty much wraps up this review. So till next time, guys. Peace.